Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Chatraha Sthireirangei Stuštuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahi Tanyadayuhu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, O gods, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious. O ye adorable ones, may we see with our eyes what is auspicious. May we sing praises to ye and enjoy with strong limbs and body the life allotted to us by the gods. Om, peace, peace, peace. Be still. Be still. Listen to the stones of the wall. Be silent. They try to speak your name. Listen. Listen to the living walls. Who are you? Whose silence are you? The grace of Easter is a great silence, an immense tranquility, and a clean taste in your soul. The Easter vision is a discovery of order above all order, a discovery of God and of all things in Him. This is a wine without intoxication, a joy that has no poison in it. It is life without death. Tasting it for a moment, we are briefly able to see and love all things according to their truth, to possess them in their substance, hidden in God beyond all sense. To possess them in their substance, hidden in God beyond all sense. The spiritual life is not a life of isolation, but a life in which we discover our true self, the self that exists in God. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. Happy Easter. Always happy to be here. Do you know our topic today? Bit strange, huh? Fall for the highest. On this auspicious day, we'll try to understand why we have to fall in love with God. Fall for the highest. We are always falling in love with beauty, with success, relationships, sensory pleasures, seeking fulfillment in the ever-changing world. And for a time, these things delight us. We chase experiences. We chase relationships and possessions, hoping they will finally fill the quiet thirst within. And sometimes, for a moment, they do. But soon the joy fades, the thrill dulls, and the longing returns. Are you following? Inevitably, the joys fade, leaving behind the same quiet yearning, the same quiet longing to be fulfilled. Is that our experience? It's never enough, isn't it? Why? Because the heart's deepest longing is not for objects, but for wholeness. And wholeness cannot be found in the partial, in what is subject to change. We are always falling in love with the things of the senses, but our heart was made for infinity, and finite things, no matter how beautiful, can never satisfy it. Hard truth. The saints, sages, and mystics of every tradition have whispered the same truth. Stop falling for what passes away. Fall instead for what endures. Fall for the highest. Fall in love with God. I know many of you must be thinking, but how? How do we fall in love with one that we cannot see, Swami? We cannot touch, we cannot fully comprehend. Is that the question? Yeah, right? Yet, there is an intuitive something within us that when we make connections to something higher and permanent within us, it tells us that this is true, that we can have a relationship with somebody we call God. The Upanishads declare, Anandam Brahmano Vidwan na bibheti kadachana. Knowing the bliss of Brahman. Brahman is the God for the Vedantins. One fears nothing, desires nothing. Knowing the bliss, it fulfills you completely. Nothing else is needed. So I wonder, why do you keep going for the senses? When the ancient sages already declared that fulfillment is in God, is within us, not in the sense objects. So first thing first, we have to learn how to live in God, how to make God real. We use the word realization to turn this into our reality, our daily life. And it's not running away from it. You have to make a decision. You have to make a little effort. This verse comes from the Taittiriya Upanishad. One who knows the bliss of Brahman, the supreme consciousness, fears nothing. In other words, true fulfillment arises only when we fall in love for the highest, not with what passes, with what never, not with that which is always subject to change. Again, how can we fall in love with God, especially when God seems beyond form, beyond thought, beyond reach? In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 11, we find, Yadaksharam Vedavido Vadanti, Vishanti Yadyattayo Vitaragaha, Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti, Tante Padam Sangrahena Pravakshye. I will tell you briefly about that end which does not decline, about which the knowers of the Veda talk about. which the renunciates, free from desire, enter, and desiring which people follow a life of study and discipline. Now, this verse is very peculiar because it's a combination of two verses coming from two Upanishads. As you know, Upanishads means the end of knowledge. Upanishads means Veda, Anta. Veda means ultimate knowledge. Anta means end, the end of knowledge. We find these tiny little books in Sanskrit, we call them Upanishads. And here we find the answers of the fundamental questions of life. The knowers of the Vedas, those who know the Vedas, not merely recite them, those who achieve the result that is realized. Veda means pramana, a source of knowledge that has the capacity to reveal that knowledge. Has the capacity. After learning to recite the Vedas, one must analyze the sentences until one understands the entire Shastra, the entire scripture. Desiring to know this, people live a life of total dedication, a life of discipline and full commitment. I know what you're thinking. Swami, that might be for you, not for me. No. This was realized by the busiest people in history. They were warriors. They had lots of responsibilities. They were kings. So there is a click that needs to happen. These people are committed to the highest. These people are committed to fall in love for the highest. Falling in love means full dedication, full commitment. Whatever you want to achieve in life, that you have to love, don't you? These people are called the yatis, those who are capable to make the right effort. And the right effort comes from a decision you make. I am going to fall for the highest and not for the ephemeral. So one of the principal things that is required is to stop clinging to the things of the senses for fulfillment. You can experience the things of the senses, but with the knowledge, they will never fulfill you. They will have a beginning and they will have an end. Because you must be thinking, well, it's impossible. I have to live here. Sure. Go. This life is for you. This life is for you to enjoy, but you shouldn't be enjoyed by remaining in ignorance. Sense objects will never fulfill you completely. Things will change. These people are free from powerful likes and dislikes. They are satisfied. They are not interested anymore in security or pleasures. They are done with that. When the Veda is fulfilled, its force applies until one knows. One knows what? Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya teaches Gargi about that Akshara Brahman. Sahovacha etadyai tadaksharam Gargi Brahmana abhivadanti. Brahmana abhivadanti. Brahman is akshara, that which is not subject to distraction, not being bound by time. Meaning, it's eternal. It is neither big nor small, nor short nor tall. Thus it is free from all attributes. Aksharam Brahman is not an object, nor is it something to be gained in the usual sense. It is not to be experienced, but to be known. Now, when you know something, that's it. In your life, you will experience this. When you know something, you have security, conviction, commitment to that thing known. There are no doubts. It's over. It's a fact of knowledge. You know something, period. Is it? Here is the same thing. What happens to us? We doubt it. We go, oh, yes, Swami. Yeah, we heard that. It sounds really nice. But my life is different. Don't miss the point. This is the most important thing for us to understand, for us to know. Even though our reality might be a little different, we have to make this our goal. That end, which the Vedas talk about, desiring which people take to the life of discipleship, I am going to tell you briefly, really, really briefly. That is Om. That is Om. I know, right? You must be thinking, is that it? Yep. It was always Om. The Om you chant during the Hatha Yoga session, the same Om you find in songs these days, it is Om. Let's talk about this. Om is a word for contemplation. Now, if it is something that we can contemplate upon, then we have to understand the meaning. Om is a word for Brahman. Just as when you hear the word cow, the meaning strikes you. On your mind screens, right here, you see a cow. Are you seeing it? So with Om. When we say Om, that meaning should strike you right away. If you know the meaning, it registers when you hear the word Om. The Om becomes something that is known as Vachaka. Om means Vachaka. In English is name. Vachaka means name. And Brahman becomes Vachya, that which is named. You follow? Brahman becomes Vachya, what is named. In general, between a word and its meaning, there is a permanent connection. Do you know that? Between a word and its meaning, there is a permanent connection. That is called sambandha. Vachya, vachaka, sambandha. I know. Be patient. It will all make sense. What are those words, Swami? I have to make it more interesting, Fancy words. For example, the word apple. Apple is the name. And the object named is the apple itself. Do you see it? As easy as that. There is a connection. When I say apple, immediately the object comes forward. Sometimes it is not quite the same with the name of a person. John could be any John. So there is not that connection exactly, unless you know a specific John. And there is only one John in your life. That should be God for you. Only one John for you. Therefore, when I say John, immediately John comes to your mind. And the meaning comes forward and it becomes real. John is known. It serves, therefore, as a name if you know this person. Now, when you know, again, there is certainty. When you know, there is conviction. There are no doubts. Similarly, when our scriptures, which we call Shastras, name Brahman as Om, the same thing should happen to you. You recognize Brahman by the word or name Om. Now the Shastra says that you and I and all of us individually, we are called jivas, embodied beings. And within these bodies, there is a Atma, something we call the Atman. The Atman is the capital Self. Atman is the Self. Now the scriptures say that Atman is a conscious being. Easy. Are you all here? Are you conscious that you are here? There, that is consciousness. You are a conscious being. Only consciousness, awareness of your existence. Now the scriptures say, Atma is the conscious being. Atma is Brahman. And that Brahman is Om. Now when I say Om, what should come to your mind? What should strike your mind? That you are here. That you are a conscious being. That you are one with Brahman. Not the things you believe you are. The witness behind all those beliefs. Do you see it? You believe you are a body. You believe you are all labels you put upon yourselves. I am this, I am weak, I am that. I'm strong. You are that. You are nothing but consciousness. Awareness of your presence. Awareness of your existence. Feel it. And that is Om. So when you say Om, I can come back to myself. I can leave all things outside and come back to myself and stay there in silence, in a beautiful silence, fulfilled. when we know this, we contemplate. There is nothing else but to contemplate. You must be thinking, is that it? Is that the end? No. But at least you know who you are, where to come back, where is home. At least you have a tool that has a name, and is Om. Atman, that conscious being, is Brahman. Brahman is consciousness everywhere. Above, below, on each side. We are surrounded by that. We can't escape. We are not separate. God is everywhere, and if He is everywhere, He is also within us. It manifests through us, as conscious beings. Now, this is a fact. Atman is Brahman is a fact. It is a statement of a fact. Like what? Like when you say fire is hot. Can you remove the hotness from the fire? Fire is hot, period. Now, whether you like it or not, you are Brahman. Because it's a fact. You are a conscious being. You are eternal. And you are present. This fact is not produced, and therefore is not a result of anything, of any action. It is your reality. It is your existence. As a statement of fact, it is to be only understood. In understanding, you accept it. In understanding, you know. So, stop believing you are bodies. Stop believing you are limited beings. The scriptures say we are eternal and self-fulfilled. All the bliss we are trying to find in the outside world, it's already in our nature. It's already with us. So what are we doing? First things first. Come back to yourself. Vivekananda says the world is a statement of facts as they are. There are certain things, no matter how much effort I can put, I can't change the laws. Everything that is subject to birth is subject to death. But I am not. The body is. So why do we cling to these bodies? Yet, life as it is a statement of facts. What happens to us? We don't accept it. We want to be young forever. Deep within we are eternal. So there is hope, you guys. No need to resort to anything. What do? We fight life. There is nothing more certain in this world. That is, that moment is going to come, whether we like it or not. Will soon knock at our doors, whether we are ready or not. So, will you continue clinging to the things that are subject to change? Will you continue falling in love with things that will only limit you, make you suffer? Or will you make a decision to fall in love for the highest? It's our choice. Similarly, the statement, I am Brahman, is a statement of fact that needs to be understood. There is nothing you and I can do about it. We better accept it. I know, is this making you feel uncomfortable? Well, it is a spiritual heritage. It's already been proved, and it's given to us. So we better use this knowledge. Then Om should take our minds to contemplation, because you are already that. If you make that connection, that sambandha between the name and what is named. The Om should send us immediately to that inner space. If it doesn't happen, then what do you do? You must be thinking, well, sure, but I say Om and nothing happens. So is this not for you? Wrong. It is for all of us. Because it is our own inner nature. As I said, it is our own consciousness, the proof of our existence. We are already that. The scriptures emphatically say, I am Atma Brahma. This self is Brahman. You must be thinking, oh my, how do I do this? Well, Vedanta is very compassionate. It recognizes that the human mind needs something to relate to, with a form, with a shape, that we can fall in love with, just as it happens in our daily life, with the objects, or circumstances, or people. We need something to grasp. A relationship to nurture based on a name and a form. If we manage to get hold of a name and a form, we can have a relationship with it and let that love mature and grow. And when we do that, we let our own nature flow. Our own nature is also of ananda, bliss. So we have to let that love manifest. That's the goal of a spiritual life. When we relate or contemplate upon the meaning of Om as a representation with the form, we are superimposing our consciousness upon something we call God. you call Om something, which is a representation. It is a symbol. Now, the best symbol is a human being, of course. In the case of Jesus, we got Jesus. And we can fall in love with him. If we do want to fall in love with him, we have to entertain him in our minds. Just like you do with anything you fall in love with. You have to give proper care, attention, even offer everything to Jesus. So that you can say, oh, I'm in love. I'm in love with Jesus. And when you are in love, what happens to you? You are happy. Jesus is an example. But it's very appropriate to talk about him today. If you superimpose the Lord in a particular form, it is for the sake of worship. Now, why do we have to do that if I am already that? Right? Well, we are clearly hypnotized. Don't you see it? We are hypnotized. Even though we know we exist, even though we know we are, yet we are hypnotized. We go outside through our senses and get lost. Then you go, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Am I this? Am I that? Looking for fulfillment. We have to do that because we have to connect, have the tools somehow to come back to ourselves. So we have to fall in love. Let's fall in love with something that represents, symbolizes the eternal, the highest thought we can conceive with our human minds. And that is the concept of God. Because we can't experience our own fullness, our own wholeness, because we are hypnotized. And as a result, there is no end to our misery. And of that, we have plenty of experience. Looking for fulfillment where it's not. Our temporary joys leaving us frustrated, paralyzed, as if in a limbo. We need to come back to ourselves and find our own nature, our wholeness within. We need to make connections with that which is permanent. We need to free ourselves from the clutches of the pair of opposites. And that magic happens where? In our minds. Therefore, where is the problem? In our minds. What is mind? An uninterrupted flow of thoughts. We see a thought, we get hold of it, we own it, we become that. We have become so many thoughts already. Therefore, our ancient spiritual heritage says, why can we not resort to dualistic practices to de-hypnotize ourselves? As a result, we can make connections with that which we cannot see, and it is everywhere, and we call God, but we form with a name. Just as a means to find inspiration within us, to come back to ourselves. It's a trick, but it works. It's okay to fall in love with Jesus or with any form or idea of God you might entertain. So it begins with what we call Ishvara, God with qualities. The compassionate, the inner ruler of all. Now, when we have something that we can relate to, we can engage. And we can let that love grow. When I first went to India, I was told that about these arranged marriages. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, many years ago. I was like, is that real? Like, how can you do that? I mean, you have to fall in love with somebody in order to marry somebody, right? And they said, no, Swami, you don't understand. Well, I wasn't a Swami back then. I was a brahmachari. You don't understand. Well, what is that I don't understand? Because, we think that we know everything. So, of course. And then they say, no. We make sure that there is a match. I'm not going to go into those details, but then we work on love. We work on love and respect. And I was like, wow, is that even possible? Yes. There are very successful marriages that worked on that. All we need is to give the right attention, care, love and respect. Therefore, we can have and create a relationship with God. It only takes our determination, our devotion, dedication, attention. Just like when you water a plant. You love your plants, don't you? When you feed your dog, what to talk about your kids, your children. We have to work with our minds. Now for that, there are lots of practices. But basically there are two types of practices that aim at different goals. To dehypnotize our minds, we have to engage with external practices. External practices will take care of something that we call Chitta Shuddhi, the purification of our minds, meaning remove all those ideas that are not compatible with what we are and what we want. Move away from toxic thoughts. How do you do that? Well, you lead a life centered in values, in what is right. And you know very well what is right. Whatever you want for yourself, that you have to give. That much. And also, you have to follow certain disciplines. We might love many things, but there must be harmony. A life of discipline. I'm not going to go into details, but you know this very well. The yamas and niyamas from the yogas. In Vedanta, we talk about dharma, a dharmic way of life. In Vedanta, we talk about what we call karma yoga. We need actions because life means activity. We need to stay active. So, let's make it a point. Let's turn our life into fields of yoga. Whatever we do it with your best of your attitude. Whatever you want, make it a point to focus. Gather your attention and do it with love. And that, inwardly, you offer it to your God, because your life is an offering. Your actions are nothing but offerings. Offerings to your Lord, to your relationship. This is for you. And I have to offer the best of me. My best. Do you see it? That attitude, combined with what is right, the right action, is yoga. That's a means for you to stay happy. That's a way of life. That's the practice. Daily. Whatever you want to achieve, that you have to be determined. I want this, and there is nothing wrong in wanting anything, provided it will not make you slave. Watch out. However, you might like to be an entrepreneur, or or run a business for a higher purpose. You might like to do that to do charity or to collect funds to help others. Now, the benefit is not just for you or for your family, but for many. That is a very good action. And it's worth the effort and the sacrifice. Because, you guys, life is sacrifice. Life means effort. And this, working for the highest, is also effort. Don't complain. You have to make a decision, make it a point to practice a God-centered life. To have a relationship with something that is permanent, with the highest. And that's very easy, actually. It's your attitude, your disposition. God manifests through your actions. It's not that difficult, huh? So if we all do what is right, and with our best approach, and we respect each other, guess what's going to happen? We're going to be just fine. And the vibes and the atmosphere will help us, be conducive for higher thoughts to contemplate upon the Om. When the mind comes down, you can see the bottom of the water, of the lake. So we have to start from that external practices. And then we need to get hold of our minds. Because the world is also within us, in the form of thoughts. So we need internal practices. External and internal practices. Internal practice will give me chitta nischalya, absorption of the mind. You will get hold of your attention. You will learn how to tame your own minds by keeping them busy. Something to focus. You become what you meditate upon. And I'm sure you all want to become the highest. Therefore, within your own apartments, you close your eyes and you focus. We usually call it meditation. In reality, it's upasana when we connect this with God, with Brahman. It's a Vedantic meditation coming from our scriptures, that we are that already. To contemplate upon that is something that we must do. Why? Because we need to stay calm. Calmness is essential in our lives. Otherwise, we keep reacting. Therefore, inner life, external practices, and internal practices. We call that meditation, prayer to the Lord within you, to regain your strength, making those connections within you, a private conversation, why not? If people hear you, they might think you are crazy. It doesn't matter. Let them think that you are crazy. Who cares? I'm crazy for the highest. I'm crazy for my love. Go for that. It is possible. Talk to your God. It is here. So, that I am Brahman. If that connection, Om Brahman, Om I am Brahman, is not yet mature, this is what we have to practice. We need to remove all these so-called impurities. They are not really impurities. They are wrong beliefs. That we are limited beings, unhappy. How could we be unhappy if our own nature is bliss? Not just happiness, bliss. Top of the top. And that you can share. The better you are with yourself, the more you are able to express that in your own circle. As a couple, as a family, as a society. There are obstacles, no doubt about it. These are called mental obstacles. The number one obstacle is called ignorance, ajnana. Ignorance of not knowing this connection. And another obstacle is a projecting power that creates mental distractions. I am restless. What next? What next? What next? There are reasons to that, but I'm not going to go into details today. But there are mental distractions. So, we deal with them with these two practices. Prayer and worship, sacred study, stay inspired, selfless service, silence and contemplation with yourself. Well, a few minutes only. In verse number 14 of the same chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, the one who has a mind that sees no other, who remembers me constantly for a length of time. so that it becomes spontaneous. You don't need to make more efforts after a while. That is called a yogi. For that yogi who is always united with me, I am easily gained. Easily. What does it take to be a yogi? The determination to fall in love with the highest. To gain that, we call Brahman. Krishna says here, you must dwell upon Brahman. You must dwell upon Om. You must stay connected. You must stay present. Many of you must be thinking, well, I read that book, The Power of Now. Practice it. Read it again. Stay with yourselves. Because that Brahman is the source of all love. What effort do you require to dwell upon what you love? Do you require any effort? When you love, you love. You are there. You lose yourselves. Loving does not require any effort. It is natural. It is like a person who is in love. His mind always goes naturally towards his or her beloved. Until we gain that mind, we have to continue practicing. We have to make it a point to fall in love with the highest. Do you see it? We have to make that connection until we practice makes you what you already are, perfect. The grace of Easter is a great silence, an immense tranquility, and a clean taste in your soul. The Easter vision is the discovery of order above all order, a discovery of God and of all things in Him. This is a wine without intoxication, a joy that has no poison in it. It is life without death. Tasting it for a moment, we are briefly able to see and love all things according to their truth, to possess them in their substance, hidden in God, beyond all sense. The spiritual life is not a life of isolation, but a life in which we discover our true self, the self that exists in God. Thomas Merton. Thank you.
You gave your love with every breath. You gave your life and faced your death, that cease to roam the growth of trees and cause the birds to soar the skies and bring sweet visions to our eyes in ocean's depths, in boundless skies, in morning's dawn, in sun so high, in earth's deep heart, in mother's eyes, your gift of love fills up our lives. Oh Lord, heart of compassion, dear Lord, heart of peace, sweet Lord, heart of love, song of life that does never cease. Oh Lord, heart of compassion, dear Lord, heart of peace, sweet Lord, heart of love, song of life that does never cease.
Beautiful song. Thank you for that. Beautiful indeed. Next Sunday, Enjoying Life, The Secret Surprise by Swami Brahmananda. Wednesdays, 5 p.m., Pravrachika Krishna Prana is reading from Swami Dhyanayogananda. And I think you know the programs on Saturday, right? You do? Saturdays at 9:15, noon, Karma Yoga Day. Saturday 11th. And then there is a reading at 5 p.m. from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna with Chit Brahmananda. Saturday 18, Swami Sarvadevananda will be here also, giving a class on Bhagavad Gita, possibly at 5 p.m. as well. And Saturday the 25th at 10 a.m. there is a Zoom annual meeting for all members. Well, thank you so much. I will reach you outside and then we can come back for a Q&A. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that outer world is Purna, full of divine consciousness. This inner world is also Purna, full of divine consciousness. From Purna comes Purna. From the fullness of divine consciousness, the world is manifested. Taking Purna from Purna, Purna indeed remains, because divine consciousness is non-dual and infinite. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you. Very good. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Well, I don't really think I need.
Yeah, comments, anything.
Well,
Where am I going?
So much
Hmm?
experience
Uh-huh.
after you talk. I really loved it. Thank you. But
You're welcome.
the particular thing is where will I find that in his books?
Oh, these are quotes from different books. Unfortunately, I did not get the. Oh, because I tried to collect all his thoughts on Easter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if you we can Google it, you can find it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of this stuff.
Oh, I love Thomas Merton.
And
I mean, we have an American saint.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
amazing man, amazing. And I'll stop talking by saying how wonderful it was to come from a Christian tradition and be here and have the best Easter I've had.
So sweet.
But the music on top of it.
Oh my gosh, she's wonderful. I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah. Any questions or comments? Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. Uh huh.
You mentioned, that. You should just.
Yes, that's okay. I can hear you. Okay. There is Durga. Well, what happens? I think this is being recorded. Oh, it's not working. Okay.
You spoke about, each of our embodied jivas.
Yes.
And I was wondering if that word corresponds to the Hindu deity Shiva, just because it sounds.
Nice. Yes. No. I say Jiva, not Shiva.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just saw the similarity.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, Jiva is the embodied being. Is the being within a body. Shiva is Atma. In different scriptures, we refer to Atma as Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. So sometimes we find that in our Vedantic scriptures, particularly in Rig Veda, but there are also agamas, other scriptures that are not traditional Vedas or Upanishads, like Kashmir Shaivism. They use the word Shiva for what we call Brahman. Yes, same. So Shiva. It is and it is not. It is not because it's not coming from the source we call Veda. It's not the Upanishads. These are all revelations. There are other sources of revelations. Now, Kashmir Shaivism also had their own revelation, some seers of the truth, which are not, it's not a traditional Veda. So here we stick to our Vedic knowledge. Now, do we achieve the same goal? Yes. The means might be different.
And Krishna?
Krishna, yes. So you have to understand this is Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is ultimate knowledge. Now, how you apply that in your life? We borrow from different traditions and sources. And in India, they call them sects, So people who follow Ishwara, or the Lord, in different forms, with different names. So, for example, you have the followers of Vishnu who follow Krishna as Vishnu. Hanuman coming from the Ramayana, the Rama. So all these are characters that represent certain aspects, higher aspects, or sometimes not higher aspects, but they usually they have a model, meaning they are examples to follow. Right, so you could be inspired by any of these characters coming from. Mostly these are mythology, and some of them is a combination of mythology and history. Krishna, for example. It is believed that he was here around us, just like Jesus. And maybe it was a little bit, adjourned, and so his life and all we have of him, it's a combination of mythology and history. Mm?
Is it important that you sing or say Om in a certain? Your Om was absolutely magnificent.
Om,
When you
yeah,
I was really touched by that.
yeah,
I'm reminded that there's certain classes that I've taken in the past that
uh-huh.
say it's important how you say Om. Would you say there's a
Well,
a
I guess it comes spontaneously, with practice and with life, But there is a way of pronouncing. So Om, it is a combination of three letters: A, U, M. Om, Om. So it's how you pronounce, and it ends. What's important is starts with A. Om, and the Om is where it resolves. Now each letter represents a state of consciousness, and it falls into mkara, mkara, which is the sound that resonates all the time within us. We don't get to hear it, but if we go into deep silence, in deep meditation, we can hear that Omkara sound vibrating within. It's also outside, everywhere. It's vibrating everywhere. You're welcome. But we have to make efforts to make that connection. And I gave you all we have, that is ourselves. The proof is our existence, our awareness, our consciousness. That I am a witness. I'm nothing but a witness, going outside through my eyes, communicating through this body, through my voice. But in reality, I'm just the observer. Because I am here, I the observer, all these forces can happen. And we can relate to each other. We can communicate. So I know this is something new, but since it is with us all the time, we have to make it a point to make that connection daily. God is with me all the time. He doesn't go anywhere. It is always with me.
I was telling Swami C, I call him Swami C, who lives here, that, I watch too much television, and he said, invite God to watch it with you. And I just thought that was the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
And then it makes you not want to watch certain things.
Yes, because you come back to yourself. Make those connections. As I was telling you, your life is also a means. It's the means and the end. It can become the means when you project God in everything. If all your actions aim as offerings to God, to your God, then you stay present in your actions, because you don't want to be careless or mindless. You want to be mindful. And that's the best way to be with yourself, by being mindful. Your mind is here. what happens to us? Our minds goes here and there, all everywhere. Now, you can witness your mind going everywhere. You can allow yourself to travel, but you stay there. You are aware that you suddenly, even though your body is here, you are not here. But you have to stay aware of that. Our problem is that we are not aware. And then we become our thoughts, and then we all these fantasies, and oh my, what happened? Then suddenly, I need a break of myself. Let me find distractions right now. What can I do? We lose ourselves. Yeah. We lose the opportunity, miss the opportunity to be with ourselves. Having an inner life is not something like, oh, not for me, just for, no, not for just for the Swami. That's not true. It is beautiful. Life becomes beautiful. With its challenges, its ups and downs, but this is life. To be able to witness beauty is because we have to know the opposite. So what is the conflict? This life is for us, not us for life. If we stay in ignorance, if we don't have an inner connection, we just lose ourselves. So we can continue living, we can continue loving the stuff you love, but you know what's happening. You know what is happening. Don't be trapped in fantasies. You can have all your relationships you want, knowing that you don't superimpose fulfillment upon them. You will find happiness in having a nice relationship over a cup of coffee. I'm from South America. One of the things that, I've been living here for many, many years, but one of the things I noticed, I thought we had the same culture. I'm coming from Argentina. So, and we love to get together and have a cup of coffee somewhere. And we sit down and talk for hours, psychoanalyze each other. But we create a relationship, we create a space. And I thought here we had the same thing, but here we go with a friend. I was like, is the cup to go? No, let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about life. So we have to open up to us, to that, no? Yes.
When you were talking about, hello? Just, it reminds me of like in Christianity, they, the Sacred Heart, you know, happens with that idea, you have to ask for it, you have to ask to be open to it and to receive it to where you can.
Yes, yes. This is the resurrection. This is the Holy Spirit awakening within you.
And that power, and I see that in the Dhamma.
Oh,
You have to give permission. We are in charge of
yes, but
how we let ourselves receive.
yes, but it's in us, you know. Somehow we've been deceived that we had to ask permission to somebody, something, a dogma, or a bit. This is very private to us. Yeah, our relationship with God is very private to us. Yet it's with everybody. Yeah. But we make those decisions. We open our hearts to Jesus. And we become sources to share his message. We take his message here and there, you know, with how we experience life and how we live in God. It shows. Well, that's what I mean.
We can see when people are
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Very concrete and visually there, and
Yeah, yeah. We can all
I
be.
get confused.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's true.
Like you said, that is so human nature.
Hmm.
But it's not God nature.
It's God's nature. Yeah.
No, it's not. The hypnotism isn't
Oh, the
God's
hypnotism.
nature.
Yeah.
It's human nature to let ourselves be.
The human nature. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you know, our parents do their best, and society is doing its best. I mean, not a good job though. So it's not a very good job. So it's this is something that we approach to, or we are introduced to, when we are born in a religion, or later in life when we choose to live, in a specific religion. Otherwise, we all live in ignorance to satisfy our needs, which is very human. But then again, life goes by, and 50 years just happen like that. And then, you know, what's going to happen. There's not much time. Yeah, but it's never too late. It's never too late. It's never too late to open our hearts. Hmm. Oh, you're welcome. Yes.
Yeah, I think you've already answered this question with a lot of things you said. And I have the understanding that all of these characters or representations of God are different manifestations of the one, of Brahman.
Yes.
And I am a person who really likes to connect with different representations
Uh-huh.
of God. Like that's really helpful for me. And not all of the time, but sometimes in that, I feel it can result in me feeling more disconnected from God, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you have anything to say
Hmm.
to that.
Yes. Well, I didn't get the time. Um, Sometimes I had a few things to share with you today based on that connection or sambandha that I made with Om and our nature. Unfortunately, I didn't get the time, but we all have to, because in order to be present, you have to get hold of your attention, clearly. Whatever you want to achieve, you have to have laser focus. Right. So with God. When you choose a specific aspect of God, that's your baby. That's you. That's your source of love. And you work on that only. So it's a very intimate relationship with a form of God. It could be Jesus, for example. It could be a teacher, who you believe of or have. You have sources of his realization. There are lots of world teachers. We follow Sri Ramakrishna. It's our source of inspiration for us. In his life, he's the Vedas. I mean, our source of knowledge. He manifested, he realized that, turned that knowledge into a reality in his life. So for us, for example, is our Ishta Devata.
I think like so for me, like I like connecting to different representations. Like I like connecting with Jesus and Shiva and
Yeah, yeah,
Krishna.
yeah.
And I think the multiplicity is sometimes helpful, but can also result in me sometimes feeling like disconnected from the oneness, if that makes
Yes,
sense.
yes, absolutely.
Would you say just like practicing, devotion to that representation of God? Yeah, what would you say?
This is very monogamous, just one.
Yeah.
You go to one
Yeah.
and you work on that.
And then,
That love, that connection will grow.
yeah.
And you will see that in all gods. Mm.
So you're, oh, okay, so you're,
So there is no conflict.
okay. It's oneness of the God.
Yeah, you stick to that. You stick to that. Focus there. Mm. Like crazy. Seriously. No, I'm not kidding. I know it sounds, but it's like you are like Obsessed, because we go obsessed for things that make us a slave. Here we're going obsessed for something that's going to make us free. So you stick to one, and soon you will find that oneness in everything. I am coming from the Catholic tradition, and I don't have any conflict. It's beautiful, because I love Mary and I love Jesus the same way, and I love Ramakrishna. I don't have any conflict.
Oh, I see. So kind of to mend that conflict is to maybe for now at least focus on one.
Yes, yes, yes. As you practice and go deeper into that communion that you have with that specific one, you merge in that, and so there is no more conflict with other. You can see Ganesha, Shiva, I don't know, Durga, Kali, and you see the same mother. You see? I love, for example, to see Chit Brahmananda is also another Swami who likes to talk about God as mother. Mm.
So,
Yeah.
in meditation, you get to Brahman
Uh-huh.
or Om.
Uh-huh.
All those focuses, Jesus, or whatever you choose, you're actually working through their understanding to get to.
Yes. So
So those are guides to find the silence
within you,
that is.
it's a means.
Yes.
It's a helper.
Yes. So meditation.
Yes.
Get rid of the voices. You observe, and you can. Build
Yes.
a connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
So meditation is you stay alert. Meditation is to get hold of your mind and keep your mind busy. Okay? Meditation means I'm going to focus my attention on this object of meditation. This is pure meditation technique. Okay? I'm not going to go into Vedantic meditation, which is coming from our scriptures. Like you are the Akasha, like you are that, you are the self. Okay? So first thing first, we start instead with Om, we start Om, for example, Om Jesus. Now, Jesus is the means that will help you find inspiration within yourself. Because it's not that by meditating on Jesus you will grow a beard. And you know, I don't know how Jesus looked. Apparently that's how he looked. But you will become what he represents. All the principles of God. So by making it a point to focus on Jesus, two things happen. You teach your mind to rest upon Jesus. Take rest, focus, come back here. Your mind will go somewhere there. No worries. You bring it back. You come back here. You stay here. You come back here. How do you help yourself? There is a rosary. The rosary, you use the sense of touch. By touching, you become aware of touch. Right? So when you touch, you repeat his name. Om, Jesus, Om. Mm-hmm. So these are helpers, outside helpers like a rosary, or sometimes you place your hands on the mudra and you touch your both fingers, the thumb and the index finger, to feel. You also focus your attention into your awareness of your presence by paying attention to your breathing. You can feel the air going through your nostrils as it, as you breathe in. So you are aware. You make that connection, Om Jesus. and the mind goes back to Jesus. So use your senses to focus your mind. Mhm. That way, if you do that, start 10 minutes every morning. Ideally, 30 minutes before sunrise, if possible. It would be easier for you. Mhm.
So it's important to say Om Jesus?
If Jesus is your Ishtadevata, if Jesus is your symbol or representation of the that ultimate reality that is you yourself, you're going to use Jesus as a symbol to come back to yourself. What you're going to experience is your own inner bliss.
It's important to have the Om before that.
Om, because Om is what the scriptures say. In Om, everything is, Jesus included. Jesus is somehow your connector, something that you relate to. I was introduced to Jesus as God. So I didn't know anything. I was like, all right, okay, Jesus is God. Not much thought. You accept it. So for those who experience that, it's probably easier because you're, oh yeah, sure, Jesus is God. So when you see Jesus, you go, immediately you do this, you know. You should respect, the attitude comes forward. So we have that already. Maybe it's on Buddha, if you're a Buddhist, or maybe it's that there is not name, that doesn't have any name if you're a Jew or a Jewish. Just Om will do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, in other words, we could choose to contemplate and connect to like Brahma or the all itself without even, an idol.
You can do that, but we are, and this is something that we discuss when we talk about devotion. We are emotional beings. So we have to get the most of the resources we have. Right. What are our resources? Our senses. Okay, our senses that help us stay present. If I feel something, if you scratch it, you will feel it. Oh, I'm here. Right. So with your emotions, the same thing happens. We are emotional beings. So if we can relate to something that we can fall in love with, that's even better. But way better. Because it's not just dry. It carries, you bring out your love from within. Just when you love your son or you love your cat or your pet, there is love involved. That's easier. Bhakti is the easiest path. However, bhakti needs to be understood. It's not that you are going to become emotionally like, I love God, and no. You use your emotions to connect to your source, your own nature, which is of the nature of love. So by connecting to something that you can open your heart to, you are experiencing your own nature. And if you can make that grow by having a relationship, for example, I'm going to give an example with Jesus. It's just an example. It could be Shiva, Durga, Kali, Ramakrishna, Chaitanya, Buddha. Could be anything. But that is a representation of the highest reality. That is a representation of all the principles that we understand by what we call God. Then you can offer your life to it. I know it sounds a little crazy, but we have to use our emotional constitution. Anything that can help us stay present and that can bring out that love which is our nature in our lives, it's okay. You should. Exactly, you start loving. I don't know. You start falling in love with objects, with people. Like, oh, I want that. I want it because I'm in love. In reality, we are all in love with ourselves. All we want is ourselves back. We are the source of all that love we experience in a limited way when we fulfill our desires. You fall in love with something external, say a thing or a human being. You want, I want him to call me, this and that. And suddenly that happens. Increases. Right? And then you want more. Then you get the ring. And that's it. Now you have it. Now you realize that it was all a fantasy. It was all in your mind. All the thoughts that you entertained that human being was going to fulfill you completely. It was all in your head. The reality is that he has a lot of problems, that he has his own habits that might not be like yours, and then there are lots of challenges daily, and there goes, you know what, I was better alone. Or not, or maybe you decide to sacrifice and to stay in that relationship for the sake of something higher. You make it a point to see God in that person, and all these challenges are helpers for you to polish yourself. Because we are all, and I spoke about this in my previous talk, we all have likes and dislikes. It's very unusual that all my likes and my dislikes will match with somebody. You cannot expect that. That's never going to happen. There will always be some challenges. So we are all looking for that space within us, which is our own nature, which is of the nature of bliss. And we superimpose that on things, on external things that we fall in love with. Now you may say, well, how can I fall in love with myself? By getting hold of symbols or representations of yourself. Your higher self, not your ego, in the form of God. Is it clear? That is how you can relate and have a permanent relationship with somebody that will not complain at all. Whatever. So the more you are okay with yourself within you, the more you can give in your life. The more happiness you can share, well-being. People will love to hang out with you. But you have your secret. You have your little secret. You're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh yes, we have to have lunch, yeah. Durga.